Good morning, good people. Welcome back to A Moment on Mondays with your girl, your sister. I'm your friend and personal growth coach, Stephanie Armstrong. And this morning, I'd like to speak to you about consider it handled. Consider it handled is a phrase coined by fictional crisis management expert Olivia Pope from the popular political drama Scandal. She would often use this phrase while dealing with some of the most complex, reprehensible drama and scandal among the characters of the president, the vice president, the chief of staff, even the first lady, and other high-profile political figures. Now, you and I, we may not be high-profile political figures, and we may not be heavily sought after by our contemporaries. But one thing we can agree upon is that we all have a past, some of which we would love to forget and even erase. See, I have an it, or a series of its, and you have an it too. And our its have the tendency to remind us of what we are capable of doing without the guidance of God, and what we are incapable of doing without His grace. See, long before you were born, God created you with a purpose in mind. And the enemy's intention is to keep you from fully comprehending the magnitude of your proximity to God, your position in God, in your plans and purposes that God has ordained for your life. And see, God has this amazing design for your life to help you become a proxy for Him in some of life's most complex situations in dealing with other people. And the enemy, his intention is to make you fear being exposed. See, the enemy will try to expose you and lead you to believe that if you are exposed, God will expel you from His team and make you not qualify or disqualify you for becoming one of His expert witnesses. And so you have to stand in the face of being exposed, but not expelled. See, God is not in the business of expelling. He is in the business of elevating and extending. And see, when God begins to extend you and elevate you, He begins to shape you and mold you so that you can stand in the place of other people and stand in the face of people who are dealing with some really bad situations and become His proxy for Him and becoming a crisis management assistant. See, the enemy knows that. He knows when you showed up on earth that you were birthed to become a crisis management assistant to God. And as long as he thinks that you have baggage or scandal in your past, you may fear being expelled. See, but God is not getting ready to expel you. God is getting ready to elevate you. And so I want you to consider this week just how God has carried you thus far, how God has shielded you from a lot of stuff, and maybe you have had to deal with a lot of stuff, but I'm here to tell you that God has declared and decreed that you can consider it handled. Whatever it is that you are dealing with, consider it handled. Even when your enemies come against you like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against them. Consider it handled. Even when you have a well-deserving spot at the table and you are overlooked, consider it handled. For God said that He will prepare a place for you in the presence of your enemies, that He will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Consider it handled. Consider it handled when you feel like your finances are finished, because God has promised us in His word in Ephesians 3:20, now unto Him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that you can ask or think, according to the power that worketh in you. Consider it handled. You do not have to worry about what the enemy is going to expose about you, because God has already taken care of it. He is already handling your enemies while He is holding you together. Consider it handled. Well, that's all that I have for you today. I look forward to seeing you on next Monday. Make sure you check me out at presencewithpurpose.net and be sure to pick up a copy of my book, When Tulips Bloom, a personal guide for blossoming through the difficult seasons of life. I will see you on next Monday, but until then, consider it handled and make this